Hi Gemini, how are you? Welcome to your mid-May general reading. Thanks so much for being here. Please be sure to check out the description box down below for additional links to other videos for your ascending moon or Venus sign. And also where to find free daily readings that I do on Instagram, alright? So I've actually started your reading 3 separate times. I'm having a difficult time communicating for some reason. There must be something going on with Mercury, but for some reason not able to get the words out or formulate thoughts. So hopefully I'm gonna totally start fresh. Let's see kind of where it goes. I'm probably not gonna stop the camera this time. I don't normally like to stop the camera anyway because I feel like it's a little bit of an inauthentic version, but if I myself am like, what am I even talking about, then it's not acceptable. The Virgo in me won't accept that. Okay. So, okay, let's go ahead and begin, all right? Gemini. Okay. Really kind of intense energies to pull out in the beginning of the spread, all right? So the Magician speaks to likely to you in 2 ways. This is the card of Mercury. I think I may have said it in a different sign that this was Mars, but it's Mercury. Okay, this is the card of Mercury, and that is your ruling planet, which now I'm having difficulties with Mercury. I wish Mercury would come be on my side today. But likely you aren't really having problems with it. Or maybe you are. This is communication. It is also initiation as well. We have Mars in your sign this month, all right? And Mars in Gemini lends itself to a whole bunch of scattered stuff. A lot of projects we want to begin, a lot of things going on, a lot of interaction with other people, and just in general, a lot. And also a lot of distraction and feeling like you're pulled in so many different directions and wanting to start something and wanting to get something going. Now, likely something happened, okay, a lot of cracks in the foundation, right? It's like maybe you're starting a lot of things, but they're all just not well-founded, or there's not enough substance to really get it going yet. Let me check my camera, actually. Yeah, not enough substance to really get it going. So it's like a lot of quick start energy and a lot of things kind of coming crashing down and not allowing you to really carry out your projects. Now this can also speak to you in terms of a little bit of a trickster person. I don't really know. I often see this as being someone that, tries to fool you or tries to, play little jokes, or it's almost as though maybe even the universe is playing little practical jokes on you at times, where you want to start something and you have really amazing intentions and you want to just go for it, and then the universe is like, haha, just kidding, nope, not gonna happen. It's like its own little stupid joke. And that can be incredibly frustrating at times as well, because you have good intentions. Now, the universe isn't necessarily working against you per se, all right? But sometimes it is, it's not allowing things to happen because you're meant to do something else and you just don't know what that is yet, okay? See, again, opportunities coming in. It's very likely that you have a lot of projects happening, a lot of projects underway. Maybe you're buying a house. Maybe you're trying to get a new job or get a promotion. Maybe you're really putting yourself out there in social settings, hoping to make that proper networking opportunity, right? So a lot of things coming in, not a lot being produced from those potentials. Okay, this is purely potential, and it doesn't really lend itself to finalizing anything. It's just let's throw this person an opportunity, let's see if they can make something happen with it. And it seems to me like you're having maybe difficult times formulating things of substance from these opportunities. In the near past, or the recent past, sort of coming in from April and early May, Page of Swords reverse, again a symbol of lack of focus, lack of communication, or struggles with communication, okay? And you may even be having someone kind of watching you or paying attention to you as well, or you might be paying attention to someone else. Maybe you're even measuring yourself up to other people and feeling that sense of urgency to live up to expectations, okay? Expectations of society, of other people in a really big sense, okay? Star reversed. So you, I think, may be trying to distract yourself from something. Maybe something happened in the past, right? Maybe there is someone that you're watching. Maybe there is a situation that you're keeping your eye on. Maybe you were left out of something or isolated, rejected from something. And now it's like you are kind of... I tend to see Gemini as being very happy-go-lucky people, kind of like a Sagittarius, right? Very bubbly, very uplifting, very outgoing. You do have a lot going for you. You are a very social person. You are intellectually stimulated, so you are very curious by nature as well. And that's a beautiful thing. But when things don't really go your way, I think things do kind of hit you really hard, and it comes from more of a lack of understanding as opposed to, or that's what maybe this is, right? I'm not saying all the time for everyone out there, but in general, maybe there is something, and it's the lack of understanding or the lack of communication that is kind of putting this healing on hold, causing a little bit of either pessimism or even cynicism as well toward just things. And if things really aren't kind of panning out, it may continue to lend itself to that pessimism as well. You may be getting to a surrender point where you're just like, you have too much and it's time to really set those wands down. It's really time to unburden yourself in some way. 10 of Wands, often likely all these things that you're doing, because these aren't for nothing. They're not trivial. They are kind of good opportunities, right? But if you have good opportunities and they're not really working out, like I said, it's like the universe playing a big fat practical joke on you, like, haha, just kidding, I was just kind of seeing what you were gonna do, but no, that's not, you know, sometimes we feel like that, and then it's like, okay, well, geez, then I'll just stop, I'll just kind of give up. And some of you may be having this give up type of attitude or mindset, right, because you don't necessarily see that it's worth it. But it seems to me like there's something really keeping you where you are, keeping you doing what you're doing. A lot of these three, well, these three, they do lend itself to like a clinging effect, right? This to me makes me feel like you're not really able to make a decision one way or another to, you know, you're analyzing your life, you're analyzing areas of your life. Maybe you are analyzing your finances, your portfolios, your experiences, right? Like the travel experiences that you've had, and feeling like, that's it? Or was it worth it? Was all of this really worth it? All this hard work, all of this, you know, these headaches? You're not getting your return on your investment, I don't think, or you're not feeling like you're getting the return on your investment because you have worked hard. There's no doubt in my mind that you have worked hard to get where you are, and you invested a lot in something, and so it is making it difficult for you to really walk away or for you to leave. Now, some of you may be considering travel or considering a vacation or considering even relocating at some point, but I think the stars haven't quite aligned for you with that, and that's okay. I really think it's best for all of us to wait until after Mars kind of does its thing in Gemini and transitions into like the new type of energy that should be coming our way soon in the next few weeks. Before any major decisions are really being made, okay? I know you're hoping for this to be over. You're really hoping for, sorry, I just got distracted. I shouldn't have pulled that one out because I was kind of went straight to that. But you're really hoping for things to be over. You're really hoping for things to be complete, okay? And I'm feeling like here's opportunities coming in, right? Here's doorways for you to step through. but it's like you're kind of stepping through a doorway to just more openness, like some of those weird pictures where there's a weird doorway in the middle of the desert. So you can walk through the door, but you're kind of just still in the desert at the same time. So these opportunities are great, but yet there's nothing really on the other side. And you're probably feeling really tired of that, feeling really sick of that, feeling like you've taken every step that you can take, but still you're not seeing the results. Oh, okay. Another dramatic card here. A break in a contract or a commitment of some kind, or even a choice, either a choice against something or a choice to not decide. And it's likely that some of you have not decided yet. Like there's been a wedge placed in some area of your life, a big fat wedge, okay? This mountain here kind of putting a divide between you and options, however that speaks to you. So you have this big wedge, but if you can't decide, then you're kind of stuck in limbo. And I think you might be kind of stuck in limbo, and you are feeling, I think, depleted, right? I'm seeing that because the efforts have not been rewarded, you haven't received recognition for those things, you haven't received acknowledgement, at least acknowledgement, let alone reward. I think you are trying to remain optimistic, but it's really, really hard. You're trying to see the silver lining. You're trying to see the good that's coming out of it, but it's been tough. It's been tough. Emotionally, we've all been kind of going through a lot over the past couple weeks. There have been some interesting planetary movements, and you know, you are no exception, okay? You're doing your best to be your optimistic self, but I think you're finding it difficult because you're not receiving the recognition and you are feeling quite underappreciated. And sometimes even though we've done a good job or we are doing our best and we don't get that acknowledgement, sometimes we do feel like a failure. It's not the case, okay? But you also have to be careful to not make it all about you and to not make it, you know, so self-focused. I'm not really actually sensing that you are, to be honest. Maybe you are, maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't. But to not play the victim and to not be like whiny about it, you know, it's life. Sometimes we just really don't get the feedback that we really need, right? And like I said, you may be feeling like the universe is playing practical jokes on you, but it's not. It's meant to align you in a certain way. This is something that you're hoping for, but it's something that, you know, kind of just comes, right? So maybe you're not quite at a place for this transition or this sort of transformation to really take place. I know you want your situation to change. See, it's almost as though some of you are considering, what first came out for me was you guys don't want to work for the man anymore, right? Or you're feeling like you're in a big brother situation and you need to separate and remove yourself from that because it continues to disappoint. It's not allowing you to be your best. It's not allowing you to shine. Maybe there are too many office politics. Maybe there was a specific situation that happened there where you just, like, I'm done. And I think that your mind is at this final straw point, but your body is like remaining, right? Because you know that if you make that dramatic change that it might not work out for the best, because maybe you've kind of even had a little bit of a bad luck streak lately. And I think you're trying to see the good in where you are, even though you're just over it. You are trying to maybe formulate, I think some of you are reaching to the past to kind of formulate your future in some way. Maybe this situation, whatever this was, or whoever this was with, you may be hoping for change. You may be hoping for either reconciliation. But to be honest, when the Lovers is reversed, it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of effort to reestablish trust in the other party. Okay, so whether this is a group of people or one specific person, to reestablish that bond, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's really, really hard, because you can't just, we can always say forgive and forget, but the forget part is always really, really hard, you know? And so there's always a little bit of like a twinge of like second guessing that person, second guessing that thing. So even though you may be reaching to the past, maybe even you're trying to figure it out or to make sense, and it's really preventing you from making decisions right now in the moment. I'm seeing 2 cards here of lack of decision, well, lack of movement as well. Maybe this also is a fear a little bit, afraid of a new dawn, afraid of a life without this thing, afraid of a life without a steady paycheck, afraid of a life without, you know, an attachment to this specific person's name. Or I'm also sensing a little bit of a lack of respect here. Maybe some of you have lost respect for someone or some organization of some kind. Something has let you down in spite of your efforts to really help and to make it better. This seems to be, you know, I think something that maybe you think that you have. I'm seeing a little bit of conflict actually. Like you think right now that you have all the cards and you know what's up, and you seem to be like, yes, I'm totally on point and I totally know exactly what's going on. And yet at the same time in your near future, you seem to be a little bit lost. Now this seems to be a little bit of a similar story to Cancer that I just did yesterday. And it's almost like you revert back, right? Like this is where you think you are. You think you have the Ace of Swords. You think you have an understanding because before you didn't have an understanding. So now you think you do, but then you're kind of going about that understanding in kind of the wrong way by reaching back to the past and maybe finding or trying to find hope in a situation that has no hope. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you're not working against yourself per se, but you are kind of maybe putting the cart before the horse. This hasn't quite come yet. It will come, but I think you're going to need to make a decision about something first. Oh, 10 of Pentacles reversed. See, I don't like the Pentacles. They're all coming out reversed. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I just think that there's a lack of groundedness and there's a lack of steadiness in spite of the fact that you may think that that's what you have, right? You may think that you have your feet firmly on the ground, but if you're really honest with yourself, it's like, I really don't. I really have a lot of things to work on. And like, yes, all these projects that I've started, they're all great, they're all promising, and yes, there is potential with all of them, but at the end of the day, are they really gonna produce for me? Are they really gonna make the life that I need for me? A lot of you may be having financial, like I say, financial strain or stress in your finances. You have incurred kind of a big expense, or you are considering an investment, but an investment may kind of dip into savings or dip into your retirement of something. This speaks to a breakage in legacy almost, okay? So that would be retirement, or that would be trust funds, or that would be, you know, something in the legal sense of, you know, financial storage, I guess. Okay, so I'm also thinking that maybe there was something unfair with a family situation and family finances. So if you were expecting, as an example, like an inheritance or something, maybe you didn't get exactly what you were thinking or expecting from that, causing maybe some familial issues. See, I often see this as being family related as well. So maybe there is something going on with your family. 6 of Cups. I see it going a couple of ways. One, I see it in terms of superficiality. Okay, superficiality of you and those around you and the relationships that you have. Some of you may be kind of realizing that your relationships are quite superficial and they're not deep. They're not connected, really. some of you may be hoping for something that was past. And I definitely see a pull toward the past, hoping to get back something that once was, all right? Five of Wands, though, indicates to me that that's really not the best thing. This is a little bit of strife. It's a little bit of confrontation. It is a little bit of fighting. If some of you guys are going through some family issues, which absolutely I'm seeing several cards that could speak to that. Family issues, family finances, inheritance, setting up, asset protection. Some of you are getting divorced. Maybe there's something in that realm for you as well. And yes, there will be some fighting. There will be a little bit of aggression here. Again, superficial energies. Like I said, be very cognizant of your relationships around you, okay? And even in terms of coworkers as well, and the friendships that you have at work, because sometimes those relationships aren't so trustworthy. I think that people don't have your back the way you would hope that they would. And you're kind of on your own a little bit with this. And in terms of getting recognition and getting acknowledgement for the things and the effort that you've put in, you can't expect that from people. And I think that the people that you do expect it from, they're not going to give it to you, and causing even more of that, like, ugh. Like, what? Again, the universe playing a practical joke on you. Like, I really thought you were there. I really thought you had my back. But you don't. And realizing that everyone's kind of out for themselves. I do see this as friendships as well, okay? So maybe some of you are wanting a friendship back. See, you are keeping busy. You are keeping things like progressive. At least you're progressing. At least you're moving from point A to point B. And while you may have a lot of distractions in your life and you may have a lot of different projects going, I think you are working diligently on them in spite of the universe kind of throwing it back in your face a little bit and causing things to really not work. You are still doing what you need to do. I think that you are kind of distracting yourself on purpose, or you're working really, really hard on purpose because you're trying to either forget something like this. So you're kind of caught in the middle between your future self here, which is reaching back into the past, okay, and trying to rectify or figure this out or to make this better, or to become at peace with this, okay? So in order to do that, you're kind of sticking yourself in the middle and saying, oh, well, I'm going to try my hardest not to think about it, and I'm going to stimulate myself intellectually. I'm going to stimulate myself with my mind and with my hands in order to not like let my heart think about this. Now, this is a sign of good. This is a good sign. So we have 7, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles coming out. I'm happy these are in the right side up position. This one frustrates me a little bit. So there may have been a little bit of a digression from a 10 to a 9, but your 9 is okay. Your 9 is upright. You perhaps are stable. Your family unit maybe not so stable. So there's you, and then there's the expansion of you. So your expansion is kind of like deflating a little bit, and you're going back to a focus to yourself. All right, so focusing on your own finances and your own growth and getting to a point where you don't need to rely on other people. You're probably starting to cut people out of the equation a little bit and starting to cutting ties with those people that you once relied upon, because now you're like, I really can't rely upon these people to really have my back. Yes, so the 8s speak to strength. They speak to perseverance, and these are really hard situations a lot of times, okay? It's hard to keep going. It's hard to power through. It's hard to leave the past behind, okay? It's really, really hard, and you're doing it, and you will do it, and this will go away in spite of maybe retroactively kind of fighting, trying to reestablish a connection, trying to reestablish trust, trying to reconnect, trying to find that friendship again, to rekindle or whatever. But please know, maybe it will save you some time. Please know that I think you'll end up moving on anyway. So the thoughts and the far-reaching, you know, desires or moments that you have, they're purely how you are choosing to spend your time. You gave so much, like I said, you invested so much, you know. And I think you were the giver. I think you were the one that kept putting in. And again, like I said, there may have been a lack of respect, all right? Or you may have reached a point where you stopped respecting people or someone around you, and you're deciding to just give up. You're deciding to put those wands down and walk away. So yeah, see, the realization that maybe this really just is what it is. This speaks very well to this. So broken contracts, broken agreements, broken commitments, broken negotiations, not seeing eye to eye. If you are trying to communicate with someone, although I'm not seeing a lot of communication really happening, but maybe some of you are trying to communicate, or I'm not seeing a lot of problems with communication. So whether you're deciding to or not to, it's not like that's something that you want and it's not coming. Maybe just a little bit, kind of a couple weeks ago, or maybe even a little bit recently, but not too bad, you know. But it's almost as though it's like your heart has kind of made a choice, but your mind is still participating. Your mind is still kind of pulling in this past stuff. But at the end of the day, you will come to a realization that this is officially like not working. It is broken. There is a crack in, like I said, a crack in that foundation, and it just is what it is, you know. It just didn't work out. Just this person, this situation, this entity, this project, it just, no matter your efforts to go in, it's a turning point. You've reached a turning point. You've reached a pivotal moment. It's time to make that decision, and you will. I think eventually you will. You won't really have a choice. Another 8. I like the 8s because they speak to strength in the major arcana, okay? So this also is a card of manifestation. It's a card of realizing and actualizing the things that you want, okay, and things coming to you. It's a card of change. It's a card of movement. Be careful in your desire to be hasty. You may feel like you want to make things like quickly change. Again, you kind of have that Mars in Gemini, remember? So there is that quick start, wanting to go, do. So there's all this like frantic type of energy. So be cognizant of that sense of frantic, and be aware of your ability to slow it down and to just kind of take it one day at a time, one project, one task at a time. Okay, this is the card of Gemini. There's hope and determination, and I'm seeing a lot of determination here with the 8s. A lot of purpose and a lot of meaning and a lot of courage to do what it is that you're doing. And I know that you're hopeful that you can tap into that like really aggressive, beautiful Gemini, the part of Gemini that is really amazing at, you know, making things happen, you know, and this may be really actually a challenge for you, the mundane, okay, not the intellectual stimulation, but like the production part of it, because this is an earth quality here. I'm not getting a lot of swords, okay, so you're kind of out of your element in terms of things are coming out of your mind and they're moving into your hands for production, and they're moving into your heart for feeling. I'm not saying Geminis don't feel. Like, we all have emotions, right? But we all process emotions differently. And I think you are a sign, I'm Libra ascending, so I can relate with the air quality. You think about the feelings, you know, whereas water signs, I think, are more about feeling the feelings. And, but this might kind of pull you out of your element. Maybe that's why it's a good distraction, right? Because you're not, like, this is your mind going. So you're pulling it out of your head and putting it into your real life, into your material life here. And hopefully getting something, a little something for your efforts to keep you in this Nine of Pentacles position, in spite of the fact that maybe other things around you are a little bit not working in your favor. And this is the determined spirit that I hope that you do have, and I know that you hope you have, and to hopefully tap into that. In spite of the fact that things just are kind of a little bit tough right now, you have the sun. The sun is beautiful, whether it's reversed or in the right side up position. It does indicate victory. It does indicate success. It does tell you that the sun will rise again tomorrow and you'll have a whole fresh new start and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a little bit dampened. It's just a little bit like dingy, you know, and you will come out of it. These circumstances will not stay or change forever, or they will not stay this way forever. My recommendation is to like not linger in the past and to not dwell and really think about how you can fix the past, but rather how you can start formulating the future. Because thinking about the past in this set of cards, it seems to me like it's not going to work out and you got to just power on and move into that next chapter anyway. So you might as well just not entertain those thoughts and not allow yourself to think those things and just power forward. Now, easier said than done. I know that it's easier said than done, but you know, hopefully if you're aware of it and you're cognizant of it, you'll be able to preempt it a little bit better. So, okay. All right, Gemini, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in a couple weeks with your love reading for June. All right? Thanks.